Hello, lovely soul, and welcome to this week's Behind the Scenes video. It's part of my Behind the Scenes series where I take you behind the scenes of an angel message and card interpretation I have shared that week, where I let you see into my thinking, into my understanding, and into my reasoning behind the card that I have talked about and shared the message about. And this week's card deck that we're using is Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. And the card that we were considering is this one, Paul the Venetian. And the theme behind this week's Behind the Scenes video is that cards have a lot more information and shed a lot more light on something than what you might first think. Take this card, for example. When you initially look at this card, what do you see? Well, the first thing that you probably see is this gentleman standing face on looking at the card. There's no pictorial scene behind him. He's not placed in a certain setting. The card revolves around one gentleman, Paul the Venetian. And if you were to turn this card over, if you were doing, for example, a client reading, and you use this card and you don't know who Paul the Venetian is, well, you might go into a bit of a tailspin, because all you can see initially on this card is this gentleman standing there. But if you look a bit further and a bit deeper, even if you feel and sense the energy of the card, you will get a lot more information. For example, look at Paul the Venetian and how he is dressed. He's dressed in this green robe. And what do we know about green? Well, it's the colour of the heart chakra, for example. And it says here, waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So the heart chakra probably plays a big part whenever it comes to Paul the Venetian. And indeed, there's a rose sitting over his heart chakra here. And a rose is all about love. And it's all about, flowers are all about expressing your feelings. So I get the feeling, just if I didn't even know anything about Paul the Venetian, that there's something here about love. And there's something about going into your heart center and expressing your love in some way. And then if we even look in the background, we see colours of pinks and oranges. And we can pull information even from the colours in the background. We can pull a sense of feeling whenever we look into his eyes. Everything about this card, even though it's not some pictorial scene with a lot of symbols and a lot of information about it, you can glean a lot of information if you just don't panic whenever you turn over this card and look to see, how is he dressed? How does he look? How does he feel? He has a very gentle nature about him. Although his eyes are quite penetrating, it's not in a harsh way. It's in a very loving way, as if he is looking deep into your heart center and your soul and bringing forward something to do with love and compassion. Indeed, it says here, share your gifts with grace. So is he looking into your heart center and encouraging you that whatever gifts and talents that you have within your soul, that you bring them up to the surface through your heart center, so you can share that with love and bring beauty to the world as a result. So whenever you look at a card and you turn it over, if it's a card like this where it's just one person on the card, don't go into a tailspin, don't panic, because there will be a lot of information in the way he looks, the clothes he wears, the background, and you can feel things about the card as well. So you can get more information than you might first think from any card that you turn over to interpret.